Hey, everybody, what is up? I hope you're having a great day in whatever part of the world you're in. Look, today's episode. Well, hold on. If you're new to this show, thanks a lot for tuning in. Thank you. Number two, look, you know what we do on the show? We talk about building a business, building your business. Whether you have a tech startup or a real estate startup, or look, maybe you want to take it from 50 deals to 200 or 1,000. We cover all that in this show. So today's episode, what we talk about, this is the girl that I have on the show. She's a millennial. She kind of interesting story. She joined a boomer, and they are the number one team in Boston. Here's what we talk about. We talk about finding a mentor, how she found a mentor, how you should find a mentor. We talk about building the right team and hiring for your weaknesses. We talk a lot, she got her start in marketing. So we talk about marketing. As always, I bring up her disc profile and we briefly talk about that. We talk about also, look, what you don't know about top producers. We also, again, getting into marketing, we talk about why your messaging should be tailored to your audience. Now, when I talk about this, it's message market match, message market fit, however you want to say that. But, if you're talking, you shouldn't create an email, a one-size-fits-all email. You shouldn't create a one-size-fits-all flyer, one-size-fits-all mailer. You need to go and segment your database. When they're buyers, talk with them with that in mind. If they're sellers, if they own a condo, if single family, whatever it is, get to their native environment. Use that kind of language when you're marketing to them, and however you want to do that, even in phone calls. And why you always, with any kind of marketing piece or anything, you should always have a clear call to action, and why most people fail to do that. And then we also, this girl is a millennial, late part of the millennials. We talk about why you guys, everybody should really strive to get out of their comfort zone when it comes to technology. So that's it. Look, hashtag for the show is Unpack That Idea. We have a very, very strong Twitter tribe. Use it, and it's a big follow train. My Twitter handle, I'd love to hear your thoughts, is just at Super Agents Live. I've taken the show name for my Twitter handle. Look, out there, whether you're in Denver or Dallas or DC, listings are tough to get. And obviously you want to be on the listing side. You know what? Radio. That's how you get listings. Radio, man. It's not as expensive as you think. And it literally, with a 60-second commercial, you can reach tens of thousands, potentially hundreds of thousands of people, depending on what market you're in, right? If you're in a Chicago with 9.5 million people, you're going to hit 300,000 people with your message. So, when it comes to talking to the right demographic, radio is the number one way. You guys know this if you listen to the show. So go to realestateradioexperts.com. If you're interested, check out some of the videos and fill out the getting started page. Give me a little background. Let's see if radio's right for you. All right. Hey, let's get to the show. One quick thing. I don't want you guys to miss future episodes. So if you want to stay up to date with future episodes like this one, you want to go to my site, superagentslive.com, download my free ebook called How to Sell, and you'll get on the list. Last thing here, if you are leveling up and you need some help, speaking of finding a mentor, because that's what we do talk about in this, you know what? You can find a mentor. You can hire a coach. Bob Corcoran out there at Corcoran Coaching loves what we're doing out here. We're good friends. And for my audience only, he will give you a free, not Bob, I think Bubba will do it. He'll give you a free session. And figure out, kind of get a sense of where your business is and if they can help you or not. So, look, it's a free session. Normally, these things cost like $500. So, go ahead and send an email to bubba@corcorancoaching.com. Let them know you listen to the show, and let me know how it goes. All right, let's get to Alison Socha. Welcome to Super Agents Live. This is the one place where you can come and hear the most successful people in real estate. You'll hear how these super agents built their businesses, how they stay productive, and how they stay motivated. Who am I? My name's Toby Salgado, and I made my first million in real estate. Yeah. And I'm your host for the next 30 minutes while we talk to yet another amazing real estate entrepreneur. Stay tuned.
Let's go! Yeah.
Out of the way. On the show today, I'm excited to talk to today's guest. Now, today's guest is they're in Boston. They're the number one team in Boston. Okay, so we're going to talk about how they got to number one. Now, they're not a lot of times, as you guys know, we bring on people with mega teams, 40, 50 people. These guys are lean and mean. 5 agents, that's it. 2 admin. Those guys are working like crazy. Now, they're in Boston, as I said, and they're not, they're putting up a little bit north of 100 deals a year. So, good size, but not 250 or 500. So I'm thrilled to welcome Alison Socha. Hey, Alison, thanks for taking the time out today.
I'm glad to be here with you.
So listen, I want to get into how you guys do things and how you're the number one team in Boston. But before we get there, Alison, I always like to get to know who you are. Like who is Alison? Who is the girl behind the machine? So take a minute, tell us a little bit about you.
Absolutely. I'm glad to do so. So I've been a realtor for 11 and a half years. And prior to that, during my college years, I was a member of the administrative and marketing team within our brokerage. And while busily taking care of those parts of the business, I saw what went into really being a real estate agent, being an excellent broker, and providing the right services for your buyers and sellers. So I went into this with my eyes wide open, unlike a lot of realtors out there today. Mm-hmm. And I've been really fortunate to work with Linda Okanevsky, so we're the Linda O and Alison team. And I've known Linda nearly all of my life, so we have a great working dynamic. And to be part of something that was been 25 years in the making. Linda was originally partnered with her mother, Peg Body, and we've just kind of been able to grow and continue to improve the strategies and kind of really systems that we've put in place so that we can create a really formidable team that's able to manage all of the transactions as well as mentor agents on our team along. And so I'm someone who benefited from it, and now I'm helping lead the charge.
Okay. All right. So, 25 years in the making. We're going to get into that because I think there's going to be some residue, some residual that's helped you to get your 100 transactions. But so out of that 100, give me just a percentage buyers, sellers.
Sure. We're probably 60-40 sellers to buyers.
Okay.
We're really fortunate to have an amazing team who works with us, but we know our listings are our bread and butter.
Yeah. Okay. Now you came. What school did you go to, and what did you focus on in college?
I attended Boston University. I was a Maduro scholar there, and I have a BA in political science.
Poli-sci. Got it.
Yep. Had dreams of being a lawyer.
I'm sociology. So look, when you go to school and you want to get out easy, normally it's like sociology or poli-sci. So you didn't have any marketing background, but after college you joined the marketing side of the broker.
Exactly.
And I'm getting. And by the way, this is a little bit off topic, but so have you taken the DISC profile? Do you know your profile?
Do I know my profile?
Yeah. Do you know your profile?
I don't.
Okay, that's fine. I'm getting this. I think you're high I for sure. But again, a lot of times the reason why I bring that up is because whatever your personality will determine sort of what side of the transaction you're on and what you're good at. So I was curious about that. But what did you do? You have this poli-sci background. Why would somebody hire you to be part of the marketing team with no background in that?
Sure. So part of it is work ethic, and part of it, I think, was the ability to actually make something happen. As I'm sure most people who are listening to this show know, hiring the right administrative and marketing team people who are go-getters and people who are willing to put in the hours to make something happen, and people who actually can take a concept and make it a reality.
Mm-hmm.
They don't just fall right off trees these days. You have to cultivate it. And I was fortunately, having known Linda and her knowing my skill set, having volunteered in the community and being part of local kind of political activism, that type of thing, I understood what needed to happen for all of that. And then it's just a question of staying abreast of all of the trends and making sure that those projects get executed.
Right. Absolutely. I mean, execution is everything. Now, if you don't mind me asking, I'm curious because this is going to tie into the sort of marketing strategies that you have improved. You said you improved strategy. How old are you, Alison?
37.
37. Okay, so you're just on the entail of the millennials. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what you joined the brokerage, you're in the back end, you got to see you got to see sort of an inside look of what makes people successful prior to going out and selling. Now, what are some of those things that you saw that maybe a lot of people who don't have that background and they jump into selling real estate that they don't know?
Sure. I think people are surprised that in order to be a really successful realtor or successful team, there's a lot of hard work. Mm-hmm. What we've found is that we're the agents who are working in between the kind of late winter holidays, between Christmas and New Year's. And we're in there getting ready for the spring marketing, sending letters to our past clients, sending letters to this past year's market analysis, etc. That's a big part of it. The other part, I think, is making sure that you're always kind of working towards an innovative strategy to put your clients in the best position. I think a lot of people think they can just mail it in, and it's a question of being open to new ideas and also being a problem solver. At the end of the day, I really look at this like we're high-level problem solvers. It's about finding win-win solutions for everybody, and then also being able to have a team of resources available to help those clients as they continue to move along.
Yeah, no, I think that's true. I think everything you said is true once you get into the transaction. But you can have all those skills. You can be a problem solver. You can, again, have all those skills. But if you're not at the closing table, right? How do you get on marketing? And this is why I kind of jumped in there because you were in the marketing side. Did you learn anything about marketing that makes a successful agent?
Sure, I think it's short, sweet, to the point. Having something that has a call to action for the consumer, and also trying to be in tune to what it is that they might be looking for. So when you're seeking seller clients and you're sending out mailers, whether it be letters or postcards or personal notes, it's creating that value proposition for them. So what's most important to sellers? And when it's working with buyers, either reaching out to big apartment complexes or the buyers whom you've met at open houses, etc. It's about letting them know what differentiates you and how you can improve their transaction.
Yeah, no. And I think you I want to bring something out really quick because you touched on something that's really, really important when it comes to marketing. You said that you talked about sort of copy. You said short and sweet. That's one thing. But you said have a clear call to action. And I think, again, for the audience, there's what you're bringing out, Alison, is the difference between marketing and advertising. Marketing is about brand building. Advertising is we have this product. Call us now, right? It's direct response, like call to action. So in terms of that, Alison, what are some of the things, and maybe, I don't know if you want to address that, your thoughts on the differences between marketing and advertising. I think too many people use those things interchangeably. Sure.
I do think that creating a consistent brand, kind of reminding people what it is that sets you apart and kind of starts to build trust in whatever way you can. I think that's kind of the key element to that part of things.
Okay, so in terms of outbound, building trust, getting, making impressions, getting people to know who you are that maybe didn't know you, what are some of the things that you do today as a millennial, in this business, or again, entail of the millennials? What did you bring to this partnership that was lacking prior to you joining?
Sure, I think that at the end of the day, there's a kind of tech savvy part to all of this that's not scary to those people who are in that generation and moving forward. That can sometimes, be a bit of a challenge to some other parts of our generational kind of family, if you will. And I think that the other element is just that kind of the differentiation between the baby boomers who are seeking people who have shown great accomplishments and kind of knowing where they've been on that end of things, being able to respond to those newer buyers, those newer sellers who are information gatherers and who are trying to find someone who helps them identify their needs. They'll take direction well once they recognize that you are a great resource for them and that there is some sort of kind of established trust. But if you haven't, until you reach that point, they're not sold on you. And that's just something that's inherently part of who I am, because that's who I am, and that's part of where my friends are, where my family is, as you kind of blend your strengths together. So
I'm not sure that I exactly got what you're saying, but so are you saying that you brought some tech savviness to this partnership?
Yes.
Good. Well, I mean, so again, so like, I think you were alluding to the fact that you're millennial and Linda, your partner, is a boomer. Is that correct?
That would be correct.
Okay. So what, again, like maybe if you could talk about some specifics, what are some of the specific things that you brought to this that where you think you've been able to have a positive impact on either sales or the customer experience?
Well, I think at the end of the day, fortunately, she and I are of kind of similar mindsets about most aspects of the business. I think it's about creating that right, and I use the term value proposition, and I don't mean it's just such a basic thing, but at the end of the day, kind of being a little more app friendly, being able to respond to the buyer clients, being up on a lot of those technological advances that they're seeking, knowing about the apps first, knowing about the opportunity to use DocuSign, .loop, those types of transaction management. One of the things that I've had clients say helped differentiate us was that we used e-signature products and that we were quick to respond via text, email, phone, whatever it was that they kind of needed or wanted in that scenario. It's about being able to share notebooks within Evernote even, so that you could stay abreast of what your client is looking for as they kind of mature through the buyer process. On the listing side of things, it has more to do, I think, with being open to some of the new trends that are coming along in the Open House Pro, as Realtor.com continues to develop, as truly as Zillow, et cetera, those kind of places, and being responsive to that end. I think that because I'm a consumer myself that way, it's something that I fully understand.
And maybe I don't know if you can maybe share some of those apps that because look, if NAR came out right recently, the average agent is a woman that's 57 years old. A 57-year-old woman, and this not I shouldn't have said that. A 57-year-old, right? They have a hard enough time wrangling their email, much less knowing what Evernote is and how to use it. And even though it's basically a note-taking app, but so what are some of the apps that you're implementing into the sales process today that has been helpful for you?
Sure. We're in the middle right now of creating our own app that is going to be for our clients. It's a direct resource app where we're able to put in our trusted affiliates, the contractors that we use, the plumbers that we use, all those people, and we can give that out now to our clients so they'll be able to log right in and get that information from them. The other one that we are on the verge of starting to use is that it's a really cool app where your buyers and your sellers are able to automatically send out a change of address to everybody in their contact world, so that they don't have to just go to the post office and hope for the best or send out a mass email to anybody. It'll automatically generate that for them. And just, I think those two right there seem to be the biggest part of it. Aside from having your own mobile website and making sure that your app is mobile, I think that's a major part of it. And then on top of that, as you said, Evernote is a big way for me to be able to connect with my clients so that we can move. I don't bring listing sheets with me any longer to appointments. I download them all to my Evernote, and then I'm able to share them with my clients through the folders within the app.
That's great, man. I love that. I love that you're creating an app. Now, who's? I have to imagine that was your idea. What?
It's a team effort, always.
Okay. All right. Well, that's okay. So again, are you taking the charge in that? Are you meaning? Are you finding somebody at Elance, or how mechanically how are you getting that done?
So fortunately, it's we have an amazing educational component within our brokerage, and we have a lot of great collegial sharing. So when somebody finds something new, we can all talk about it. So Dizzle is actually the people that we're using to help us create the app, Concierge.
Fizzle.
Dizzle.
With an F.
D as in dog.
D as in dog. Dizzle. Okay. Yep. I know the guys at Fizzle. I don't know the guys at Dizzle. Okay. Cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
So again, I'm glad that it's you that we for the audience. Linda, her partner, was scheduled to do this interview, and at the last minute she couldn't show. So I got Alison, and I'm glad, Alison, I got you. What are you doing anything because you're tech savvy? Are you doing Google pay-per-click campaigns or Facebook ads, or what are you doing in terms of trying to drive leads in the digital world?
Sure. We are on the verge of kind of commencing our first Facebook ad campaign. We had prior to that we outsourced the Facebook ad part of things, and it was costly, and it really was not producing any sort of result.
Yeah.
So we've taken it over ourselves, and right now our team coordinator who handles all of our kind of the day-to-day operational listing marketing. We have that just about ready to roll out for first of March. So we'll be doing Facebook ads and also considering AdWorks.
AdWords, or did you say AdWorks?
AdWorks with the X.
Oh, what is that? I'm not. Let me look it up.
Sure. So they're actually kind of a mass marketing firm that will help you hone your message. You can use them you can deploy them in a variety of ways. So we're in talks with them right now to see what they can do for us.
Got it. My AdWorks, okay. And give me real quick. Give me your team website.
Sure, it's agentexpertise.com.
Now, .com. Okay, so I put an L in there. So you're doing some Facebook ads. What else are you doing in the offline world to drive leads for you guys?
Sure. So we have just started a campaign to 2 local condo complexes, reaching out to them just because as the market in Boston, we have a very tight inventory, but as the condo market is starting to rebound, so it's a good time for those people to consider selling. And part of that is as the kind of upper generation start to right size and get rid of those larger houses, but they're not quite ready to go into some sort of direct community living. Having a kind of a one-level condo and an elevator building, et cetera, becomes a lot more attractive to them. Additionally, it's a good opportunity for us to start reaching out to those potential kind of the people who are moving up inside those condo complexes. So that's one of our programs that will be starting here for as the second quarter of the year commences. And then additionally...
No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay. And then additionally, we have a program in place that we're going to be sending this year to blanket sellers in our community so that they will kind of be a constant presence to them. Lightly, we host team home buyer, home seller seminars, and we reach out to the sellers in that way so that they can see that that's kind of part of our service model. We want to make sure that they're educated, that they're making good investments in their house. We let them know that kind of taking steps now, so when you renovate your kitchen, do it with an eye to the future if you think you'll be selling on the sooner side rather than the later side. And that's also part of the marketing campaign.
For those condos, okay, so you're targeting those condos. What does the full breadth of that look like? How do you, Alison, when you say, hey, I'm going to target this condo complex, two things.
Sure.
One, what goes into choosing a particular complex? And two, what are all the pieces to that?
Sure. So for our purposes, we would prefer something that was an elevator complex and also something that has 25 plus units, because then you're consistently marketing to someplace that has some potential for turnover.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a monthly reach out. We don't want to annoy them.
Sure. Yep.
And really it's going to be kind of quick, you watching the market. Bullet points, not anything. It doesn't need to be a chapter and verse thing, because we look at this like most of the advertising, the marketing that people receive in the mail, it's throwaway pieces. So we want to have something that catches their eye, that will speak to them, so that when they get it, before they throw it in the trash, they at least are consistently seeing something from us that has potential use for them.
And so I guess so it's just a mailer. All you're doing is mailing out once a month.
That's right.
Okay.
That's kind of what we're going to try.
Okay.
And then we'll invite all those people to our seminar as well.
A move up seminar? You said it earlier, but I don't.
Sure. So it's a home buyer, home seller seminar. So for the buyers, it's trying to help them buy savvy. And for the sellers, it's letting them know what the profile of today's buyer is, and then also what steps should they take to help prepare their house to market. It's not about if I'm selling in 6 months, although that, of course, works. It's more like, hey, even if you're selling in 3 to 5 years, if you're getting ready to retire or kids are graduating from college and maybe you don't need the same size house anymore, what steps can you start to take now that will help you be prepared for then?
Got it. Now, so are you creating? I don't think you are, but I'll just ask this because maybe it's a good. Maybe it's something you want to do. Here's what I'm seeing: when people when people are targeting an area, whether it's their farm or but they're specifically targeting a neighborhood or area, whatever. They're building out to get people engaged. They've built out Facebook groups for that area, right? For that subdivision or whatever.
Yep, that's very popular.
Yeah. So you're familiar with that. Now, for you, that's not a piece. Integrating a digital piece with the offline piece is not something.
Sure. So where we are just outside of downtown Boston, the community is on the smaller side of things. So we're not one of those places, and most of New England tends to fall into this category. There aren't a lot of subdivisions where we are. It's a community that's only 4 square miles. It's got 28,000 residents. So everybody is part of really one big space. And there's no real clearly defined area like that.
Okay.
We don't have a neighborhood that would be able to kind of turn into the, Tri-Valley wine enthusiast or something like that. That's just kind of not part of our makeup. Okay.
Now, so look, I mean, you've been at this a decade, right? 11 and a half years. You got to see it from the back end of the office before you got into the front piece and started, selling stuff. What for that person out there that is maybe 2 years into it, or maybe thinking about going full time or whatever it might be. What's a piece of advice that today that you learned along the way and you're like, oh my God, if I would have known that, it would have changed everything.
Sure. I think there's a couple elements to that. One is talk as much as you can to the more seasoned agents in your office. I think that the opportunity to talk to them and understand where they've been and how they got there is a really, really important part of being able to grow as a realtor. And I also think education, making sure that you stay kind of open to that, attend all the trainings in your office, make sure that you go to your local association and check out the class options. Those things certainly help to me, but I think the other part of it is never close the door, always be open. And I think that a lot of people want to do it the way they've always done it, but you really can't afford to do it that way anymore. The world changes at the drop of a dime, and you need to be ready for it.
Yep. I couldn't agree more. Listen, okay, we're going to start wrapping up. I appreciate you coming on. So I'm going to ask you some of the same 3 questions that I ask everybody, okay? So here's the first one. And I think I have a sense of what your answer might be. But so for you, Alison, as you've developed as a real estate agent, as you've developed as a person with a career, who has been a mentor to you?
Sure. At the end of the day, Peg and Linda have probably been the people who are most responsible for helping me mature as a realtor and be open to every possibility that I can take advantage of.
Got it. And I figured that was the case. Now, I didn't ask you this. I'm backing up for a second. So Linda's been in business for 25 years. Okay, so she's been at this a long time before you got in here. How has to get to that 100 deals, how much of that is referrals or past clients?
Sure. At the end of the day, we're close to, I would think, actually 50-50. There's a lot of brand recognition around town just by having your kind of signs flopping in the breeze. So that really kind of benefits us, knowing that kind of we're the agents who are always going to get you more money. Kind of our rep is, you guys always have the best houses, and it's, no, we have the best clients. Clients who are open to being kind of maximizing their house so they put themselves in the best position for a sale. So I think that although we do a really robust referral business, there's also a lot of kind of just name recognition.
Yeah. Okay. So if 50% of your business is referrals, past clients?
I think so. Yeah.
Wow.
Coming from those guys, absolutely.
So what are you doing to goose that?
I think it's just that we're at the end of the day, we have programs that we run during the year. Every now and then we're just kind of thinking of you types of things. The kind of hardy moms, etc. But on top of that, we just are with the way that we handle our mailings, we're just kind of an ever-present resource. And then I think we respond. That one of the things that people forget as a realtor you really need to do is actually return telephone calls. And by returning a call, you can kind of keep people invested, and they know that you're in business to be in business, that this isn't just some sort of fly-by-night thing. Yeah.
Yeah. That is so much of it, suit up, show up, and answer your phone, All right. So look, I always ask for a book recommendation. I'm always curious as to what people like you are reading. So here's the setup. I'm an aspiring agent. I have $25. What book should I go buy today?
I would purchase E-Myth by Michael Gerber.
Michael, that is a great book. E-Myth Revisited 2.0. Listen, if you guys in the audience, if you have not read this book is a book that will help you understand where you're at in your business. Are you a technician? Are you an entrepreneur? And a lot of you guys probably don't know, and it'll help you give you sort of a longer term view of where you're at and where you want to go and how to get there. So get a free copy on us. Just use our link, audibletrial.com/superagentslive, and get a free copy at Audible. So my last question to you, Alison, is do you have a personal habit that you feel has contributed to your success?
I do. Every night and every morning, I do a kind of quick evaluation of the night, of the day that just transpired and what I need to get accomplished tomorrow. And in the morning, just kind of revisit what I did the day before. Make sure I'm happy. What things could I have grown from, and what do I need to do differently today to improve my situation, both personally and professionally.
Got it. That's good. Hey, just in speaking of books, have you read Hal Elrod's The Miracle Morning?
No, I have not.
You should check it out. It's got you should go get a copy. It's pretty good. It's a quick read. You can read it in a couple hours. So, but Hal Elrod, The Miracle Morning. All right. Hey, listen.
I'll download that on my iPad.
Well, Alison, here's the deal. I always encourage my audience, if they've gotten anything out of this episode, this time that I've been able to share with you, for them to reach out and say thank you to you. So where can people find you, Alison?
Sure. On Twitter, it's at Alison Socha. Email would be alisonsocha@remax.net. And you can find us on the Agent Expertise team on Facebook.
Awesome. And listen, guys, if you are driving, riding your bike, walking your dog, whatever, mowing your lawn, whatever you're doing, all this stuff will be on the show notes at Super Agents Live. So go check it out. And look, and Alison, I'll be the first to kick off that thank you train. Hey, thanks for taking the time out of your busy day. I know you're out in Boston. I know it's freezing cold. You'd rather be talking with me than outside, but I appreciate you taking the time.
I'm glad to be a part of something so dynamic. So thank you for the invitation.
You're welcome. I'll talk to you soon.
Sounds great. Take care.
Let's go.